Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Denver and Rio Grande Western Iron Horse Route. For archive purposes, it is Saturday, August 24th, and it is 5:55 in the Eastern Time. I got John in here with me today, and right now, hopefully, we get a few more guys in here. Um, I had a schedule change, wasn't planning on going live, and my schedule changed, and decided I was going to do some work on the Watermill, and decided I might as well come on and do it. Um, I actually have some questions about materials and what I'm going to be using. And we got John here. Who else we got? There is Bill. Hey, Bill. Um, how are you? Good to see you. I helped my Nana rebuild part of her shed. Well, she didn't help, but rebuilt a shed this morning, the bottom portion of it. I'm a little worn out, but glad to be here with y'all. Um, I was, I'm going to wait a few minutes before I start doing any work and before I actually start talking about any of the stuff. My bad. Sorry. Okay. What, more about that? So I sent some emails out. I sent emails out to Claude and Roy and Art and everybody I had a email address for that I could think of. Dave, and I don't know what kind of time it would be for everybody. It's kind of smack dab in the middle of the weekend schedule, so I'm not sure if we'll have a lot of people come in tonight or not. But what I'm here about is I'm here about my Watermill project, and I am going to tilt the camera down. And well, actually, what I wanted to do first is, all right, I had initially thought about using these for the flooring in my structure, the Watermill, as well as the shingles. And upon measuring and discussion, I learned that this is 1.5 millimeters in inch scale. That's going to be about 6 point something inches thick. Um, Now the shingles on anything are nowhere near obviously 6 inches thick. So um, yeah, Bill, I got a little or 9.5 something. It's even worse. But long story short, oh, you know what I need to check on? Um, how is lighting and how is audio? Because I do have new lights, pointing light, different kind of lights. Kind of, they're not new. They're just different bulbs, lamps. Um, all right, good. All right, good. Yeah, you know, I have this. I have this, but it really, I don't think it's going to plug into my, I don't think this is any better probably than the mic that's internal for the capture. Not using the capture, but if I'm not mistaken, I've got it set on the microphone that's in the camera. And so, anyway, long story short, Wild Bill, I was going to use these for shingles. Flooring, it's fine because you're not really going to see the thickness. But on the shingles, you definitely would see the thickness of the roofing on the eaves and everything. So I was thinking I needed to measure this and check before I went any further. And I did that because, let me show you. I did this. And although I like the concept and the idea, I hate it. And it's got to go. So look, do you see the thickness of that? It's just that just doesn't look good. And so I did just use white glue. So yeah, it's ugly and it's coming off. I don't like it at all. And so I am gonna have to like apply some moisture to get it off because it's on there. But I'm gonna be pulling those off. I have some of the flooring, the same thing that this floor is on, and I'll put this down in a minute. But this stuff right here actually sticks out to provide this. I accounted for that. I want this cover. It's actually going to be a place where the a truck could back up under cover and load if it needed to in the event of snow and stuff. But it's way too thick, so this has got to come out. Now, what I did this morning, early, I got up early, and I made this. Which will, thank you, John, which will ultimately provide that. Now, you see this? That's cut out because that's where the 2x4 hits and it dissolves into the background of the scenery. Hey, Art, how are you? Good to have you here. So, Art, we're just talking about what I'm doing. I was going to use these for shingles, and they're like 9.5 inches thick, which is ridiculously too big. So we scrapped that idea. And we scrapped that idea, Art, because I tried it. Well, the reason why I reached out and started asking about stuff is I did this one, which I do like that there, but I hate the way it came out. And because of the thickness, when you shingle them, it's just not believable at all. It looks awful and it's got to go. So, what it looks like I'm going to be using, drum roll please. So, all right. So, yeah, Art, I did. I sent you a email about with the link. But anyway, this right here, we are going to try to use that for shingles. And I am not exactly sure. I'm going to cut a little sample piece and we'll kind of go from there and see what it looks like. I talked to somebody who's used this before. I am not wanting one of the better pieces anyway. I'm just wanting to look. Well, one of the things I could do, texture's correct. I was thinking about that as well when I was looking at it. But one of the things I could actually do is I could leave it like this and do some of these. Prior to me removing it, kind of act as a holder. Hey, Dave. Good to see you, bud. So we get into something like this. Now, I guess my question would now be, is that looks great. And Bill, I want to tell you why I'm wanting to use something a little thicker than that, even though it's going to be thicker than prototypical. This lid will be removable, and I'm doing that so I can get in there and drop lights in at some point, and possibly even tables or a mill saw, whatever. I'm leaving it. This lid will be. I'll be able to take this off like a cap. Okay, and because of that, it's going to probably be coming off some for upgrades and things. And because of that, I'm wanting a little more stability than construction paper. And so I did read several places that talked about using cardboard, like just barely thicker than cardstock. And I'm just looking for something a little thicker than that. What I'm actually probably going to have to do now that I'm not using the popsicle sticks is I'm probably going to have to put some other kind of, and maybe just more of this. I might just lay more of this in here because I am going to need something a little more than obviously than this, because this is not going to be sufficient. Because actually, the shingles are going to come out that much further. This is where I have this width due to the fact that this is where the 2x4 hits, as well as the fact that on the bottom floor I have another structure. I have a room, a cut coming this way, so I have a good support right here where I don't have supports for about 4 inches here. So that is something that I'm gonna run into that I did not initially account for. What I'm probably thinking I'm gonna need to do is in that area, or possibly even the entire way now, I could be removing these actual skewers and going ahead and replacing them with skewers that will go all the way to the wall. It should have enough support. This is 70 millimeters as they stand now. I'll tell you what else I would need. Well, I'll show y'all this way. Hey, Union Central. Good to see you, bud. We got Dave's Trains. We got Wild Bill. We got School Killed John. We got 7 people in here. I don't know who they all are, but I'm glad y'all are here. And I'm about to point the camera down. If you just came in, all right. So now what basically I'm going to have to do is initially using this thicker thing that I was initially going to use that I'm not using now. Okay. But this has it's plenty sturdy to go all the way to the wall. Hey, Stu Structures, good to see you too. And so this was initially designed to hold these, and this was going to have zero problem going all the way to where the roof would dissolve into the background. Now, I'd have something, because it was too thick and extremely unprototypical looking, I'm going to be going with the milk carton thing, which I've lost now. Shocker. Now, I could maybe score this instead of actually cut it and use it more like this, but this is not going to look well going all the way here without any supports. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to pull these out, measure it to here, and I'll have skewers that come all the way to here. And then I'll probably put maybe another layer of this underneath, sub the eaves, so you wouldn't see the thickness. And then I could come over the top of it with the milk carton. All right, you got to go, bud. It's good to see you, bud. Please do. Now, I wonder how that would score, how that would look when I scored it. Stand by, y'all. I'm going to try something. Now, y'all know I'm not going to be able to find my X-Acto blade now that I need it. I wasn't going to need it. I always need it. I should have known better. Dang. I've carried it off somewhere. Well, I'm going to find it because I want to try something. All right. No, I'm not. Yeah, Bill, I tell you what. And you know what? It doesn't matter how often. We'll talk about that for a minute. It does not matter how much I clean up out here, how often I straighten up out here, which I try to do on a regular basis. And I always try to straighten up before I go live, always. It's just, for that purpose. And I straightened up about an hour ago, and I've already managed to mess everything back up in that short amount of time where I can't find anything. But I'm going to tell you this. We've had some work going on out here. I worked on the helix as well earlier. I have the helix is done as far as I can do it until I can order track. And I was kind of maybe going to have a discussion on it, but I'm going to get Pico Flex Code 80. and I will be ordering a little bit of that, enough to get to the turnouts. The turnouts are way up in level 5, so it doesn't matter, but 5 pieces of flex should get me up into I'm pretty much done with level 4 and approaching the level 5 turnout. I'm going to need a Y right there, and I'll go into more about that in just a sec. And I'm going to need a left hand initially. Um, I really, I'm gonna need a third turnout shortly after, but not immediately. A pencil box, that's a good idea, because what I do, Bill, is I lay them down up here and I pick them up and I move them and I walk somewhere. So I've actually lost another tool since we've been talking. And so I'm kind of getting aggravated now. So I need these. I'm going to need my skewers to go ahead and come on out that far. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 10 of them. And I am defaulting to any kind of tool that I can. Four and 3/4. All right. So we're going to mark a few of these and cut them pretty quick. I am getting better at that. There is definitely a technique, and I have also started sanding them, the edges, which oh, by Wild Bill, you use Pico. Okay. I'm just worried. I don't want the Atlas Flex to start, you know, messing up. Once that helix is set, I'm hoping it's going to be set. Now, I am having to basically redo work that I've already done, but I am glad that I'm doing that because it wasn't going to be right. Now, John, something I was going to ask, and anybody else for that matter too. Um, what is the typical way that people use the milk jug when they use milk jugs for the shingles? Um, should I cut them? Do you think I should cut them in thinner strips and kind of cut them like I showed that one example where they look shaky? Um, or should I leave it more whole and kind of score it a little bit just to look more like shingles? Any ideas on that, y'all? What do y'all think? I thought the kind of shaky look would look cool, but that's going to make it a whole lot more difficult, which I guess I'm not worried about that. Oh man, I tell you, I can't stand going to do work. Like I told y'all, I was telling them earlier, I went and worked on my Nana's shed, and I love working with wood, but God, I hate being over there and not having my tools, and I keep driving back and forth. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of thinking that the structure wouldn't be that old. So maybe I don't need to do all that. I just thought it might look good, but so I mean I got one, two, back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to go get more skewers at some point soon. Those I can afford. At $1. I can get a pack of those. All right. Let me cut these real quick, and then I'll actually. The way I did the roof, it's not difficult for me to pull those beams out and replace them with these. That's probably not the. But see if I do this. They stay really clean. These are the ones that I was talking about that don't have that little coating on them at Dollar General. They have two kinds at Dollar General for $1. One is $1 for 100, and one's $1 for 50. The one that's $1 for 50 doesn't have that coating on it, so when you cut them, they cut cleaner. And I also found that they are much more uniform in size than the ones that are 100 for $1. What I like is they don't have that coating, because to me that was the only problem with using skewers, was that dang coating that. What do you guys got going on as far as videos coming out? When have y'all published anything very recently? Anybody that's in here with chat, in chat with us? And if so, mention that, please, so we can go check it out. And if you have not, but you will be uploading something soon, if you'll tell us more about that and get us excited about that, I would like to know if what you guys got going on your layouts. I'm basically on hold with the Helix due to needing to order products, and I am having a ball working on this thing. I really am. I'm enjoying it. I like to be able to sit down. the stage that my layout is in over there is we're way down. My layout will continue to rise as it grows. As my layout goes that way, it will continue up a 2.5% or 3%, between 2.5% and 3% grade. And it'll go that way. And then it's going to cut this way, continuing to go up. So anyway, long story short, what I was trying to say is this is the lowest area of my plant. And so that's why it's so low, because it is the lowest area. I will not have to do such backbreaking bending and stuff like that as we proceed. Now, as I get further over, directly over here on this wall, when I get close to the Winter Park area, it'll actually be, probably 6 feet. The base will be about, 5.5 feet or 6 feet at that point. Track plan. You just released another video on the freight house build today. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Sparky actually mentioned it on a comment. Thank you, Sparky, if you happen to be around ever. Sparky mentioned in a comment on my last video, and it kind of made me think about it. Everything from the scratch build has come from Dollar General. And I figured up the math on it, and the cost is ridiculously low. I mean, in part mostly because, I've got a lot of the products already. I really wish this was a more exciting portion. Not so much. But I did want to come on and do some work. I do want to visit with y'all too, but I would like to get this cut. Oh yeah. Now, tell us more about that Hobby Lobby stuff. What are you repurposing there? Now, I use their cork. I buy their cork from there, and I'm not buying that other cork anymore just because I think it's a whole lot less expensive, and it seems to be fine. It's Midwest Products cork is 1/8 of an inch thick, and the Hobby Lobby cork that comes in a mat is 1/10 of an inch thick. But I cut it the same width and everything, and it actually lays probably a little better than the Midwest Products, and that's probably due to the fact that it is a tad bit thinner, but it's not noticeable. I even have a place on the layout where it goes from the Midwest Products cork to the Hobby Lobby cork, and you can't tell at all. Just a few more, guys. Appreciate you if you're hanging here with me. So Stu has a video that just came out. It's Stu Structures has a video that just came out, excuse me, on a warehouse build. Go check that out after the stream. I know that School Kill John has an upload coming out pretty soon. I would imagine he might be done editing if I would have left him alone and not done this stream. But John's got something coming out real quick, real soon. Bill's got tons of stuff going on over at his place. Just got to find time to shoot video on it, I guess. Oh, you know what? I think that it might have been the second time, but I attended Nate's stream, Taya, whatever, and that's the stream before Tom on Monday night, and that was nice. Good people there. And then I go see Tom on his every other week after Nate. I want to start going to Nate if he keeps doing that. And I go see Tom on his every other week when he does that. And then Tuesday night, there's those guys, they do the round robin thing. And I do not know enough about that schedule to talk about it. But I know I would like to hang out with some of those more, because the few times I've been on any of those different ones, I've enjoyed it and would go back. Wednesday, we got Sparky, and I want to say Vinny might have mentioned somebody's going to start going after Sparky. But Vinny referred to him as a kind of newcomer, but it sounded like Vinny knew him pretty well, so I'm not sure much about that one. I want to say the guy's name's Michael, but I could be totally wrong. What's going on with Thursdays? I don't really know. Thursdays is Hot Rod Rodney is he has a slot there, but I don't know how often he does that. And it seems like, does somebody else go on Thursday? Okay, so Rodney is back. Tech problems can happen. I don't fool with anything when I'm streaming now. I go straight from the I click go live and I go to webcam, and it connects straight to my camera, and I can't control my camera. I can't show videos. I can't do anything. But man, it's pretty much bulletproof. Now I said that, watch what happens. But oh, YouTube model builders. I've not been to that. That sounds cool. I like the name too. You know what else I saw? I saw a stream that like went off twice, and it was like 4 guys a couple days ago, and I'd never seen that before. Yeah, I hope not, Bill. We'd be all right. But I got it. I mean, I got it set. I got the camera set on 720, and so it's not killing my computer. I'm not trying to use any outside third-party streaming software, and to include the Logitech capture software, which bogs my computer down horribly. And I can do a pretty clean stream this way. I just can't change camera angles, automatically and that kind of thing. But all right, now these actually had a little glue on them at one point, and then I redid it all again, and so they could be some stubborn ones. And then I'm tearing this one up. I've done it a couple times down on this corner. So what I did is I just drilled holes. Oop. My bad. Hey, Dwight. How are you, buddy? And River Valley Dave is here, yes. Good to have you here, Dwight. I'll stop playing around later. No, I might not. All right, now the fun part. Marrying these two. Absolutely not fun. There we go, my bad. This one is the one that must have had some glue stuck to it because it's been uncooperative ever since. All right. Okay. Not a flawless execution, but we'll be all right. It will be executed nonetheless. And you know, I kind of, this idea of the skewers and the structure and all this really just kind of started back with the terminus and the passing project when my friend Vince, you know, we talked about taking that hardboard and being able to adjust it so we had one structure that could go on. We had one structure that the grade could be adjusted on. And so what we have done is we have provided new supports for the mill. Now, I could probably, well, no, it wouldn't have support right here. Any thoughts y'all have, go ahead and shoot them out. Please don't be scared. Save me some time and trouble. I am not an expert. Do not try this at home, etc., and so on. Because if you see something that maybe you have a good idea, spout it out. And see, this is what I was talking about. I'm using that as a support. And so the initial idea was to do this creatively until we determined that, wait, that's way too thick for a shingle. So now we're looking more something like this from a milk jug. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to be using this and I'm going to layer it here. Now, I'm going to do it where it will lay flat or sub, so this thickness will not be exposed. And yeah, Dwight, here we go. So this is actually where he more so belongs for now. That is actually the first thing I ever did in N-scale before I even did before I even got my train, was that truck. Torn up now, but it kind of looks good because it's been used. All right, so what I'm going to be doing, given an opportunity, I'm going to be cutting a piece to lay here, a piece to lay here, a piece to lay here, well, to here, from here to here, and from here to here, out of this. I'm going to lay that in and make sure that it's not exposed, and I will paint it, and then I'm going to come over the top with shingles. What I will almost certainly do, probably prior to even touching this, is I'm going to get this off. So that's got to come off. It's white, it's PVA white glue, and I'm gonna, hopefully I can wet that and get it off without tearing up anything else. All right. Well, we've been streaming 45 minutes. I'm sure I bored y'all to death. I think it would look good as slate also, Mark. BNSF N-scale. That's not Dave, is it? Did Dave change his name and I missed it? Is Dave in the house? Okay. Well, welcome, BNSF N-scale. All right. Okay, Remco. Welcome. Hey, Remco, what you got going on over there? You got some videos? Have you uploaded anything recently? Or you got anything coming out you want to tell us about we can go check out? I don't know. I don't know if these other guys are subscribers to your channel or not yet. I don't think that I am. I might be wrong. But Remco doesn't strike a... Oh, okay. Well, that's really cool. All right. And yeah, Remco, we're glad to have you here. And how long have you been? Are you just starting in model railroading, or are you just starting on YouTube and shooting videos? Neither matters which one it is. I'm just curious. Yeah, Mark, that's awesome. And that's the purpose, really. I like to promote y'all's stuff as much as possible. Okay, and so you are in scale, and you know, there are two guys here. I don't know how familiar you are with them, but Cousin Vinny and Dave are both BNSF in scales, and they are incredible guys with a lot of knowledge, and you might want to subscribe to their channels as well. Now, Vinny does a lot. You probably know Vinny from his live stream, but Dave doesn't upload a lot of videos, but he's a fantastic guy with extremely a lot of knowledge, particularly probably on what you're going to be working on. So it might be good for you to check out some of his videos and start some communication with him. He might be able to help you out with a lot in regard to prototype stuff. Oh, okay. Now that's awesome. So you watched model railroad stuff on YouTube for a couple of years, and then you went ahead and jumped in. So let me ask you, what's going on with your layout? You said you just started. Do you have any trains running yet? You got just a layout drawn out? What do you got going on? Let's see if well, can I put a link? Let me see. No. Y'all are welcome to put a link to his channel if y'all. Thank you, John. Appreciate you. There you go. That's right. And it'll open in a new window, which is cool because then it doesn't take you totally off here where you got to go back and reload and go back to live. And how are you, Dwight? I hate having to do that, but I'm not going to fool with that other thing. It didn't work. Anyway, I kind of stopped on Thursday with Hot Rod Rodney. And then somebody we had talked about, so you said somebody goes on maybe after that. And Dwight says he's doing all right. I actually watched Dwight's video recently. And Dwight, what I will tell you is that you have a lot of cool stuff coming ahead in your layout just based on what you got laid out, to come. You can just see there's much cool stuff to come. All right. What kind of windows do you use, Dwight? Question for Wild Bill. Um, 25 millimeters. Can you compare that to a railroad scale? Well, I guess 9 millimeters is in. Is that right? So 25 millimeters is 2.5 times in. Wow, if I figured that out, I got lucky. Well, okay, Dwight. Well, one of the things we're trying to get a time. It's just kind of hard. My schedule's is shaky sometimes, and I don't want to like say I'm gonna have a time and not be there and do it. So roughly HO scale. Well, my windows are very crude. I have much to do and learn in regard to the scratch building and all that stuff. I really enjoy doing it, and I think that I'll get better at it. There are little ideas I get each time. Um, One of the things, it's probably will be better for me as I progress because I'm learning more about the size of the windows, what actually is more real and looks more real. Sometimes a little bit bigger than normal is better, but sometimes it's not. Well, I mean, what what do I do? I mean, what do I do? My thoughts were to lay parchment paper in here and use that window clear part cement. I don't know if that would work or not, but that's what I was thinking. Now, has anybody clicked the bell icon per the sign? Has anybody liked the video per the instructions? And has anybody subscribed? And are those just noticeable at all? Or are they not even there? Do they just blend in with everything? Wow. That's small stuff. Well, Bill, I mean, but don't I kind of need something? I mean, okay, yeah, I'm with you, but there's like there is no window, which I guess you can't really tell. I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell unless it was a little dirty, which I would assume it would be. Very good. Thank y'all. I don't know. I was kind of thinking, one of the things that's suggested for live streaming, and I can talk with y'all. I mean, it's not like y'all are like abnormal guests or something, but one of the things they suggested, was to have a constant kind of background, even if it's a background like this that has a lot of distractions. Um, if it's constant, basically the live viewer that begins to come on, really doesn't even see that stuff, but they become used to it. And it's something that it become a preference or not, I guess, depending upon how it is. And I can admit that there are people who stream live that I like their show better if depending upon the background they've got going on. Um, the I love the I mean, as you can tell, I like the layout in the background. I mean, it's what I like. Tom has his layout in the background. Sometimes Steve Brown has his layouts in the background. Sometimes he's on a green screen, or a black screen. But Sparky he's got a constant layout, and it's Sparky's, and you know it's Sparky's when he comes on. Vinny does the green screen, and it's cool. I like the Kodachrome thing where he can change his stuff. I actually even read that you can do videos in the background on the Coda screen, and so yeah. Now, the only thing better is to have the trains running around it, but all we would see is more frustration from me if the trains were running around it right now, because um, the Kato A units are going to derail, both of them. Oh, speaking of, I got to reach out to Dave. He's got some trucks. Before I'm not going to spend a ton of money on anything, but um, I think I'm going to try to buy those Kato trucks off of him. Well, it's just what I like to do, what I've been doing. Um, I've been watching the Creator Studio videos a little bit. I really like to spend any time watching videos I can to watch y'all stuff. But one of the things that I'm finding is that there are some of those the bigger YouTubers, the full-time YouTubers, when they talk about successes and failures and things like that, it's kind of can be motivating to actually they're a little motivating, those creator channels. And so I've gotten to where I kind of like watching them, and they do things like those videos. They're talking about things like your background, and that's kind of where I didn't get this exact idea from those videos, but what I did get an idea from the videos, there was a guy who did a video, and he said to make sure that the background is relevant to what you're doing, and you can even have, I think it was suggested, he said you can have calls to actions and stuff, and so that kind of led me to this. So it'll be cool too, because I do a lot of my video intros from this angle. You are exactly right. And that's what I was trying to tell you. I am streaming on a $40 camera, maybe 50, it's between $40 and $50, which came with software that works really well for shooting any videos when I'm not live. Live is the only time I can't control it automatically with the mouse or anything else. But I got a $40 camera, and I have my computer has four, not 16, four. And that's why I can't run this capture software. But the value of that computer is probably about $100. I got a $40 camera, and I'm not interested really in what I want to be able to do is have more cameras showing stuff. That's really all I care about. And I heard a secret about how you can go live with your phone when you're not yet monetized. Now, the problem is I don't know how that would benefit anything really unless I was able to do the add a camera option. But I don't even know how that would work. So, but I did hear that there's a way to do that. Well, yeah. I don't think the purpose of the channel is to spend money, and I don't think the purpose of the channel is probably to make money either. The purpose of the channel is to enjoy and have fun and collaborate and all that, which is another thing that those guys are talking about a lot of, doing collaborations. One of the things is, though, I would assume that whichever one of us has the lowest sub count, probably those 100 subscribers or 80 subscribers or whatever are already subscribed to all of our channels. But it doesn't hurt. Hey, Black Mountain Station. Yeah, the monetization starts at 1,000 subs, but that's not the hard part. 1,000 subs is nothing. Because any of us could probably have 1,000 subs in about 2 days if we wanted to really go about it that way, that weren't modelers and that kind of thing. But it's the 4,000 hours of watch time? I actually watched a guy break it down, and it's sick to get the 1,000. And so he broke it down like by how many videos you had to shoot and how long the videos were. And anyway, it was kind of like if you uploaded a 30-minute video a week, and you got 2,000 views on it, and they watched it all the way through, you'd have 4,000 watch hours. That ain't easy. You can't do that with 1,000 subs without live streaming and stuff like that. Now, we got Mountain in here, we got Dave's Trains, we got Wild Bill, we got Stu Structures, we got John, Union Central System, Dwight Curley. We had Art earlier. Do any of you guys ever live stream? If so, when? You want to go on now? I'll come chat. No, it's not 4,000 minutes. It's 4,000 hours. What you can do is if you got 1,000 subs and you shoot a video a week that's 20 minutes long, and you do an hour live stream where you get some decent playback views, and you're getting 1,000 views, not necessarily all the way through, but when you supplement it with the live stream, you can do it. Yeah, because see, I'll be honest. Before I went, or right as I was starting to live stream at all, Bill had been doing some tests, and I kind of remember I had talked with Bill on TrackSmack chat, and I remember thinking that, if Bill can go live, I guess I could too, because I was apprehensive. And one of the first couple of times was obviously disastrous. But what I do remember is Nathan DeLay, when I would live stream, and I'd be on, this is, this is less than 30 subs or whatever. I'd be on for an hour, and maybe somebody would pop in and say hello and step out. But Nathan DeLay used to always stop in and say hello and talk to me. And I remember that. I do. Nathan DeLay was the very first person that ever came to any of my live streams. And it lasted about 3 minutes because I knocked a bunch of stuff off the light. I thought I had knocked the light off on my very first stream. I was inside of 3 minutes, and I went to touch something, and a bunch of stuff fell off the light on the layout. It was awful. He sure is. I'm actually I'm going to ask his permission to do a shout out on him and a couple other people I'm going to get with about doing that, because I'm going to do a shout out video pretty soon. I might do 3 people, and I guess it depends upon how often I'm going to do those. If I was going to do a shout out video like every month, maybe I could do 5 people. And because I can easily shout out 50 people that deserve it, really, that I can point people to a video that I've watched that I could recommend, is what I'm trying to say. And because what I got going on is I got the video that's going to come out doing the roof. That'll be this coming week. The next week, I'll have a video coming out laying the track on the Helix. And I'm actually going to ask somebody to collaborate with me on that and talk about the grade and the actual math on that one. That'll be 2 weeks from now, and I'm going to have a guest shot, a guest clip video on that, describing the math that went into doing, figuring the grade and all that on that, and the turn radiuses and all that. And I've got my layouts 1 year birthday is going to be coming up in a few weeks as well. So probably the layout, the video after I do the layout on the video laying track, the video will be coming out on the year in on the D&RGW Iron Horse route. Will probably maybe just be all running trains, because the scenery will show itself through the trains running, and the changes to the layout, I would think. I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to download some stuff though from YouTube to my computer, or either I'm gonna try to do a screen capture maybe and see how that works out. That might not be too hard to do. We're getting kind of long. I actually am. There's 10 of y'all here. I hate to go, but what I want you to do is make sure that you are subscribed to Schuylkill River Valley, Dave's Train, Stu's Structure. It's Wild Bill at William Sullivan New Ferris Railroad. Did I say that right? Ferris. All right. I usually stumble on the F one. I was going to say William Sullivan got a new layout going on over there, looking good. Black Mountain, as I said, is here. We have Dwight. We had Art. Art just put out Art put out a video a few weeks ago. Art, we're about to start janking you. It's about time to put out another one. Although they are kind of worth the wait, because he does a good job with them. If you would like, to promote your channel right now, obviously go ahead and do that. And I do say that because there's 10 of us on here now. In 3 weeks, basically, I said 100 last time we were on here. In 3 weeks, I'll have 80 or 90 replays. On average, is what's kind of been the trend, is what it's looking like. And so if you'll go ahead and talk about, for the next couple minutes, if you'll go ahead and put in chat anything that's interesting that's going on with your videos and your layout, any videos you've released recently or lack thereof, anything you think anybody should go check out, go ahead and feel free to shamelessly plug your channel at this time. And what I'm going to ask everybody to do that's watching or replaying is that if you have not already, I want you to click the bell icon, and I want you to do that because I want you to be alerted to my live stream so you can come hang out next time. One of the things I am going to start doing from this point forward, I chickened out twice in a row, and I don't know if it was laziness or chicken. I just decided not to, but I am going to start shooting out an announcement video that'll say I'm going live in about an hour, and the chat will be posted in a half hour. And so I'm going to kind of make a somewhat, not totally generic video, but I'll probably reshoot it. But it will have kind of maybe the same thumbnail and a generic beginning and end real quick. It'll be a 1-minute video or something like that. And what I'd also like for you to do is share any of my videos on other platforms. If you discuss and hang out with other modelers and you use other platforms, I do not use other platforms at all. I don't share any of my stuff via any of other platforms. And so I appreciate it in your area if you do, particularly if you know of other good modelers who would enjoy my videos. I have an 8-part scenery series that I put out in July that is actually worth watching. It's kind of long, and if you want to wait till next year in July for the highlight video, you could do that. But I'd prefer you go ahead and check it out now. I also, in June, did a lot of track work, and I laid in a passing and a terminus an Atlas switch, and 2 Pico switches. I got a 6-part series on that. Those are the series that I would recommend that you check out, and you should know at that point if you would be a fan of the things I do. I have some train running videos and things like that, but the summer was more dedicated to track work and more dedicated to the addition of South Boulder Creek to my layout over here. And they both turned out really well. I'm very happy with them. And like I said, video coming up next week will be the completion of all this, and which will basically be the completion of the structure. And then we'll go to the Helix video, followed by my 1-year birthday video. And I want to tell y'all, each and every one of y'all, thank y'all for hanging in there with me. I know I went long, and I want to thank everybody who was here the whole time when they maybe could have been doing their own editing and stuff like that, for sticking around and putting up with me. And I really appreciate all of you. And I hope y'all promoted your channels. And I hope to see you again very soon. I don't know for sure. Maybe tomorrow morning even. We'll see. Look for the announcement video. If so, it just depends upon what's going to iron out with my schedule. One of the problems with going on tomorrow morning is that we might not be able to see Claude, and I am sorry to that. Claude usually watches the replays on the live streams, and I have not mentioned him the whole time. And I'm going to tell you this, Claude, if you watch from the beginning to the end and you get to this part, you deserve this shout out. Claude's the man. Y'all go check him out. He actually put out a new video that I don't think I've watched yet. I'm glad I mentioned him, because I got to go do that. I'm going to go check. I'm going to check right now. Y'all check Claude Priest, his channel, and it's Cowboy. Can somebody help me with Claude's channel? The name of it, because I'm going to butcher it. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. It's Cowboy Valley. Golly. I'm going to put a card to Claude's channel up there. Y'all have a good night. Look for an announcement video. I might go live tomorrow and just show you what else is going on here. Nothing else I can really do to the Helix. Very little I can do on the layout in regard to running trains. I actually have the lifelike apart, and I do not. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I do not have the guts to try to solder anything live. I will not do that, particularly those tiny, tiny parts. And hey, Jake, how are you? Hey, I got 8 viewers and 9 thumbs up. How now? How often y'all see that? That just means folks left, but Nora, we about 20 minutes longer than we normally go, and I am gonna have to step out on you, because mainly I am having a wonderful time, but I actually need to get something to eat, and I need to let these guys who have been here from the get-go go, because they got lives and stuff to do. But I sure appreciate each and every one of y'all. I really do. Nora, go ahead and plug your channel real quick, if you would. If you put out any videos recently, I need to set a bell icon for several of y'all. Black Mountain, I need to set a bell icon for you. I don't think I have I'm subbed, but I don't think I have the bell icon set. Nora, I don't have the bell icon set for you. Union Central System, I don't have the bell icon set for you. And what I like to do is if y'all show up in these streams, I like to get an alert when you upload a video. And I don't always watch them immediately, but I tell you what, it's just like having with Claude. I think I might have forgot one of Claude's, and I feel bad if I don't watch one of y'all's videos because y'all put out good stuff. All right. Union Central. I gotta set bill alerts. I'll forget y'all if I don't write it down. And Nora. All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday evening. Look for a announcement video an hour before I go live tomorrow. The announcement video will most likely come out early. I would say the announcement video, you might want to look for the announcement video at 7 Eastern, even maybe 8 Eastern, between 7 and 8 Eastern. And we would plan on, if I'm planning on going at like 9 Eastern, I would send it out at 8 or 7:30. And like I said, I want to like do the announcement video an hour beforehand and then set chat up 30 minutes before that. Y'all all have a wonderful evening. Thank you, each and every one of y'all, for stopping in. I appreciate y'all. I enjoyed the stream. It flew by. It really did. Thank y'all. Have a good evening. Thank you for coming to the Denver and Rio Grande Western Iron Ores Route live stream tonight. We enjoyed having y'all. It was good, y'all. Bye-bye.